All right, ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy, Dash the True and Fun. And as you've seen, in case you missed yesterday's video, which I'm hoping that you didn't, but in case you did, this is the newest beat album that will be coming out this April, called Resident Epidemic. So yeah, it comes out April the 15th. So a number of people have been waiting for this type of beat album. You know, it's more down to the streets. It's, you know, we got the bangers, the hard hitters. This is the one that a lot of people have been asking for. So I decided, hey, right now, let me give it to you. And it's called Resident Epidemic. Comes out April 15th. The first single will come out later this month. And then, you know, I'm gonna have another single come out February. And then the third and final one will come out in March. And then, of course, the album will be out on April the 15th, which is a Friday. Now, let's get on to today's review. And the album that I'm reviewing here is Welcome to Our World, done by Timbaland and Magoo. And this is the duo's first studio album. So there you go with that. And shockingly enough, they got five albums together, Timbaland and Magoo. So obviously this is the first. And then after that, and this came out October 28, 1997. And then after that, it was Indecent Proposal, which came out 2001. And that's another one that I got actually. So I got both of these. And then after that, 2 years later, they came out with Under Construction Part 2. And then that was in 2003, followed by The Best of Timbaland and Magoo. I'm not sure we can count that, but came out a year later. And then in 2005, they came out with Timbaland and Magoo Present. And that was the last one that they did. So it's been over 10 years since they did an album together. But I guess at this point, obviously, Timbaland don't even rap no more. So, and I have no clue what the heck Magoo is doing. So, there you go with that. And, yeah, as you can probably still hear, I still got the cold a little bit. Although it's getting better a little bit. So, hopefully it'll be gone completely sometime this week. Going back to this track, I have not heard, this album. I have not heard the later three albums, but it's obvious that Welcome to Our World is the best one that they did, without question. That's when Timbaland was at his best when it comes to making beats, which was like around the mid to late 90s and to some degree the early 2000s. But really, it was the 90s really that did it for him. And he had a scribe with him. You know, outside from him and Magoo, you know, Missy Elliott, Genuine, and Aaliyah. Ooh, that was a pretty good lineup, man, back in those days, man. So, let's get back to this album. So again, this came out November. Wait a minute. Something ain't right here. Because I believe I told y'all October. That's when this album came out. Yeah, it said October 28, 1997 on the official Timbaland and Magoo wiki. But if you go to the actual album, it said it was released November 11, 1997. So a little bit of a issue there. But either way, the album came out late 1997. We'll go with that. And it's been recorded, you know, from 96 on to 97. And this was done under Blackground and Atlantic. And the producers were Timbaland and Smokey. I crap you not. That was it, really. Now, there were some others who was involved in it, like Barry Hankerson, Jomo Hankerson, and that's it. So, outside from the Hankersons, I don't know who they are. Siblings, cousins, whatever. But Timbaland and Smokey produced this entire album. Really, Timbaland produced all these albums. Because all the beats was done by him. Why would he get another beat maker on his album? Come on now, it makes no sense. So actually, not only was this Timbaland and Magoo's first album as a duo, but this was actually Timbaland's first album, period. That's interesting to know. Out of all the Timbaland and Magoo albums that they did, this one was the only one to reach a level on the RIAA certification. So this album features a number of guest appearances from Timbaland and Magoo's regular collaborators at the time. Among them, Missy, Misdemeanor Elliott, Aaliyah, Genuine, and Playa. Playa is a band, by the way. The album sold over 1 million copies and went platinum. The album spawned 3 singles. The official singles, Up Jump the Boogie and Clock Strikes, and the promotional single, Love to Love You. So there you go with that. Now, let's get on with the singles. So I'm not sure which one came out first, so let's find out real quick. And there's a number 18 tracks on this album. Now, I want to say 3 of them are skits. There's a controversy over the very first track. You could call it a skit, but it's like 4 minutes 17 seconds long, so I call it an actual track. So I'm gonna give you my top 5 on this one. Now let's get on to the singles real quick. Jump the Boogie came out first, so that one features Missy Elliott and Aaliyah. And before we get to the singles, let me give y'all the list, the names of the tracks real quick. Track 1 is called Beep Beep, and the reason why I was struggling to declare this one as either an actual song or a skit is because Timbaland just talks, and then you got Missy Elliott or a vocal effect of Missy Elliott going beep 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 beep. Who got the keys to the Jeep? Vroom, which was used in one of her songs, actually, that line right there. So I'm not sure you could call this a song. I mean, you could call this track because again, it's 4 minutes 17 seconds long. Track number 2 is called Feel It, followed by Up Jumps the Boogie, featuring Missy Elliott and Aaliyah. Track number 4 is the other single called Clock Strikes, featuring Mad Skills. Track number 5 is called 15 After the Hour, followed by the first skit, quote unquote, Miss Parker, which is an interlude featuring Love John. Then we get the remix, and this is funny because the remix came before the original. Learn to Love You remix featuring Shanta Montgomery and Player, followed by track number 8, the original Learn to Love You featuring Saint Nick and again Player. And track number 9 is Smoke in the Air again featuring Player. Track number 10, we got another interlude called Intro Butter featuring Butter Brother, Big B, and DJ Law. Look, and that one only like 1 minute 49 seconds long, but with the number of guest stars on that one, you would think that's the actual track, but it's not. Track number 11 is Peepin' My Style, followed by Writing Rhymes, track number 12. I'll get more on that later. Track number 13, Deep in Your Memories, followed by Clock Strike Remix, oh my gosh. Then track number 15 is called Sex Beat, which is another interlude, followed by Man Under Cover featuring Aaliyah and Missy Elliott. Then track number 7, we got Joy, and this one's really interesting. This one featuring Genuine and again Player, but this is actually the only track in the whole album to feature Genuine, so I find that to be a bit interesting. Then we got the remix, track number 18, Up Jumps the Boogie, which features Missy Elliott and Aaliyah. So now, with that out the way, let's get to the singles, which goes as follows. The first single was called Up Jumps the Boogie, and it came out July 11, 1997, and it was the first single off of their album with the obviously, as I just said, features Missy Elliott and Aaliyah. The song peaked at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles charts, as well as number 1 on the Hot Rap singles. It also peaked at number 4 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop singles and track charts. Now, and surprisingly, there's a short version on here as well as the radio version, which is kind of awkward. But the single itself actually reached gold, the single itself reached gold, selling 800,000 copies. The end of the year chart, it was as high as number 58 on the Billboard Hot 100. So yeah, there you go with that. And again, this one came out with a remix. There you go with that. Now the next single was called Learn to Love You, which came out sometime in 1998. And that one again featuring Shauna Montgomery and again Player. Not much info is on that one. That one did not make any charts at all. And then of course the last single was called Clock Strike. Now, Clock Strikes came out April 14, 1998. And this was obviously the third single off the album. And it featured Mad Skills. Now, the remix. Now remember, if you go way back to my very first Throwback Tunes video, where I reviewed When Disaster Strikes, Busta Rhymes came out with a third single that was not on the album called Fired It Up. No, it had 2 titles to it. I'm trying to remember how it was. I just looked it up too, which is the messed up part. But either way, the third single off of this album, When Disaster Strikes, used the same sample. I made reference to this, going back to it. it had the same sample as there it is, Turn It Up Remix / Fired It Up. It used the same sample as does the Clock Strike remix did, and again, that one is the Night Rider intro theme. Now the song, I'm assuming it's the original, peaked at number 37 on the Billboard Hot 100 Singles chart, making it their second top 40 hit on the chart after their debut single, Up Jumps the Boogie. It also peaked on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Singles and Tracks chart, getting up to number 24. And if you happen to get the single, it will have the original and the remix on it, but mostly the remix. So yeah, there you go with that. I'm assuming this is based off the remix, not the original. But anywho, going back to the album itself, AllMusic gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and Robert Christgau gave it an A-. How you pronounce that, George? So what do I think about this album? Well, before that, let me give out my top 5, start from the bottom up. Some of these skits was actually good. I mean, again, this is Timbaland's beats that was made in the mid to late 90s. So, he was on point with those beats back then. But the sex beat, to me, out of all 3 skits, sex beat, the beat using that was the best one, obviously. And also like Miss Parker as well. Moving on up on the tracks from the bottom up, Smoke in the Air featuring Player, Joy featuring Genuine and Player, 15 After Hours, and Deep in Your Memory. Those 4 tracks was okay. Then we get to Learn to Love You featuring Saint Nick and Player. That one was a good track, the original. And then followed by Feel It, which was another good track, followed by Peep in My Style. That one was really good. Then of course, the original Clock Strikes featuring Mad Skills. That one was good. And then, here's where it gets really good in my opinion. Well, Clock Strikes was really good, but here's where it gets really, really good. Up Jumps the Boogie, the remix, featuring Missy and Aaliyah. That one was out cold, mostly because of the beat. And then, of course, Learn to Love You remix, featuring Shanta Montgomery, and again, Player. Now, let me give you my top 5, and ironically, Player is not in my top 5. So, number 5 is Beep Beep. And this is confusing because, again, it's the first track. There's no singing, there's no rap or anything like that, just mostly Timbaland talking, and the vocal effects of beep, 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 the by Missy Elliott rapper. But again, the beat was out cold, man. That's why it's number 5, because the beat was out cold. Number 4, Up Jumps the Boogie, the original, featuring Missy and Aaliyah. This one was out cold. To me, this one was much better than the remix, obviously. Even though, again, the remix is good, but the original was out cold. Now, the top 3 to me are the best 3 tracks off the whole album. Number 3, Man Undercover, featuring Mia and Missy Elliott. And first of all, I'm gonna break this to you right here, right now. If Aaliyah was alive today, she would be the cream R&B superstar today. I don't care what name you go, man. You get me quote Beyonce at me. No, Aaliyah would be above them all. And she would be the most cutest of them all, too. And she was still alive today. So, but back on Man Undercover, the beat was all cold. It was like this, it had this romantic feel, but it was still cool, though. It was still cool. And the beat was all cold, so that's why I really like it. Number 2, Clock Strikes remix. I mean, come on. They sampled the Night Rider beat. So, that had to be up there, man. That joint was out cold. In real talk, I like this track that made use of the Night Rider remix over the Busta Rhymes Turning Up remix Fired It Up joint, and that Piga Booga Doggy 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 Da, sung by that one international group, and then the remix which was done by Jay-Z. But Clock Strikes remix, that's the best way. Ego Boggy I don't know why I was singing that. But anywho, number 1, Writing Rhymes. This joint to me was deep. At least the beat. The beat was out cold, man. I could melt out to that beat for days, man. If I hear that joint, this is another one of them joints where I would just stop what I'm doing, kick back in my bed, and just listen to it from start to finish. The beat was out cold. What I think about the album as a whole? Well, it's really, really good. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 stars. And the reason for that is because of this. Timbaland, obviously one of the best hip-hop producers, one of the best rap producers ever. But his lyricism, I'm not saying it's bad. It's not the worst, or it's really bad or anything like that. But, I mean, he's mostly known for his beats over his lyricism. In fact, I would probably go as far as say Magoo lyrically is better than Timbaland. But, that's not saying much. So that's why I gave it, if there was better lyricism on this album, this would be higher. I would probably say download this album for free and keep it in your collection. Like I said, the beat that was used throughout the whole album was really good. So that's why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. You should download it and just have it in your collection. So yeah, there you go with that, man. Y'all know who this is. This is ironically Genuine the Second saying peace out, y'all, and see y'all next time. Yeah.